Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video, and we're doing an update on the HasLab Rancor project shown at Hasbro Pulse's Con yesterday. So I made a video yesterday when it was shown and talked about the product in general. So if you want my opinions on the actual product and the pre-order information for it, basically, feel free to check into that video that was posted yesterday. However, this video is going to be an update on whether I plan to get it or not, and then mainly talking about the unlockable tiers and my guesses for them and everything like that. So to start off with, I didn't notice yesterday, or maybe it was added a little later, I'm not sure, but they did actually show the tiers. So, in their preview video, they said that the tiers or the unlockables would start at 11,000. So we knew that, talked about that yesterday. However, actually within the description of the HasLab kind of page to back the order, it does show that there are 4 tiers, and it not only shows the first one, like the actual unlockable number, but it shows the second one too. So the first one will be unlocked at 11,000, second one will be unlocked at 13.5 thousand, and then it takes 9,000 to have this project made just in general. Overall, I'm a little worried. I think that it'll hit these, just as the Sentinel and the Galactus did. And Galactus had a slow start, but he ended up going the distance. He really did great towards the end. So I'm hoping that we do unlock all 4 items, because I would love these 4 items, and I think that there's a very good chance that we will. But it worries me because he's off to a slow start here. It's been not quite 24 hours, but it's been the entire rest of the day since he was shown, and it's been all night, and now we're into the morning, and he's only at 2,800, which I think is a little low for day 1. Usually day 1 has the biggest numbers, so I'm slightly concerned. Nonetheless, though, let's go over the tiers. Before I do, though, yesterday I mentioned the fact that I wasn't sure if I'd be getting this, but if I did, I'd probably get it towards the end of the run, kind of in December, before it ends, and that has not happened. I've actually bit the bullet, and I did purchase it. So it was just, I was talking about it with my wife. She knows I'm a Rancor fan, and she recommended just, go ahead and do it now, because when they start shipping these, they're going to do it in the order of the orders, and I found that out with the Sentinels. So the earlier you order it, the faster you'll get it, and she knew that I was going to get it, so I bit the bullet out on her recommendation, and I've backed the order. So very excited for this, and it makes me even more, just kind of personally excited for those tiers. So let's start off. So here I'm going to be just doing my predictions or what I think the tiers could be, and I've tried to guess an order. When it comes to the order, though, I really have no idea, but this is my guess for the order. With a character like this that has only been really in one scene, there's very limited things that it could come with. So I'm pretty confident in my guesses as to what these things are. Bearing any crazy unforeseen things, I think that this is pretty solid. And then, I'm assuming that they're going to go just based off of Return of the Jedi. I know that the Rancor creature has, been featured in games, things of that nature, but I seriously doubt that they'll have any of these unlocks tie into the game or something. But if it does, I'm not predicting that, at least. So to start off with what I think the first unlock could be, I think it's definitely one of these unlocks is 100% the Rancor Keeper. This is your perfect one to do, because it's one that probably wouldn't sell that well if it was just released by itself as just a standard figure, but as an unlockable with this figure, it's 100% needed. It would obviously be a character that's never been made in the Black Series before too, so I think that that's 100% one of the unlocks, and I think there's a good chance it would be the first unlock. It's just the figure that really would go with this, and again, it would be totally new, so definitely needed. And with these unlocks, just taking a look at both the Sentinel and Galactus, things of that nature, they seem to do some 100% new figures, and sometimes they redo other figures. So like the Silver Surfer, is basically a repaint of previous Silver Surfer figures, but it had, a new accessory and things like that. So I think that we'll get a mixture of new figures that have never been in the Black Series before, and a mixture of figures that have been in the Black Series, but that maybe come with different accessories, different paint, something like that. And I believe that all of the things coming with the Sentinel are with this Rancor are figures. I don't know of anything else. Obviously, like just the bone could come, but that would be a ridiculous accessory, like unlockable by itself. But I do believe that the bone will be included with a figure. And then the only other thing that they could do that wouldn't be a figure is like a backdrop, but that would just be strange, and with the size of this guy, that would just be huge. So I doubt that's the case too. So I believe that all 4 of these tiers are actual figures themselves. So the second tier that I'm predicting here is going to be Luke Skywalker. Obviously, you know, particularly Luke and his look when he is fighting the Rancor, and of course including that bone accessory. So the figure itself might just be 100% just kind of a repackage, but maybe an updated paint, maybe a little updated on the costume to make it you know, more accurate to the scene in particular, and then of course that new accessory. Next up, predicting a figure that they have already released before, Gomorian Guard. Obviously, one of them falls in the pit with Luke, and we get to see the Rancor take a big old chunk out of him. So, again, they have released a Gomorian Guard in the past, so I definitely believe that we'll get another one. I'll be interested to see how they do it, though. They might be able to do something interesting, where maybe it'll have a detachable portion kind of where the ball joint is, being able to detach it very easily, and then maybe like the insides, you know, green painted almost like a green blood or something, so that you can actually have like it in his mouth, you know. So I think that they could do something like that, where they could do 90% the same figure but with something different, so that it is exclusive to this this release itself. And then the last one, would be another one that's kind of like the Rancor Keeper, where it's one that would probably be a little hard to sell just on its own, but as a part of the Rancor, it would be a fantastic addition. And that last one is Jabba's Dancer. So she is obviously the first person, the one that's foreshadowing the creature to come, that gets dropped in the pit with the creature. And we see her in the pit, of course, but we don't actually see her interact with the Rancor. But I think that she would be an excellent one too. I think a really neat figure, especially if they do actual fabric for kind of the netting, which is what they did with the 3 3/4 inch version. That was a figure that I believe was released with the Jabba set, which I have really loved my kind of Jabba display with that, and that's a great 3 3/4 inch figure. So to get a just as good, 6-inch version would be awesome as well. So there you go. That's my predictions for the 4 unlockables that will come with the Rancor, and it's my guess on the order. I don't know about the order though. These can be interchanged order-wise, but I believe that these would be the 4. If something else comes with them that's not game related, I just can't imagine what it can be, because obviously with the Rancor's limited screen time, these are really the only things / people that he interacted with. So I think that there's a very strong possibility that these would be the 4 unlocks. And I would love all 4 of these. I think, personally, I actually, right now, I don't have a Gomorian Guard figure. It's a figure that I've always wanted, but I kind of waited to see it on retail and never did. And so just kind of never ended up getting him. I have just this morning, though, purchased one, so I do have one coming. But to get a second one would be great. I think that having just one Gomorian Guard doesn't really work. So I would love the Gomorian Guard figure. Luke, I don't have a Luke in the Return of the Jedi look, so I would definitely want this version of Luke. And then, as far as the Rancor Keeper and the Dancer, obviously those are ones that have never been made in the Black Series before, so they would be fantastic additions as well. And that would certainly help with the price point of the Rancor. The Rancor being $350, I thought was a little overpriced, but if you do indeed get all 4 unlocks, and all 4 unlocks are figures themselves, that covers $80 of it, so that helps a lot. That brings the Rancor's actual price down to $270, so that seems a lot more reasonable. If he doesn't hit these unlocks, or he doesn't hit all of them, I will be very disappointed though, because I would really like all of these. I guess if I had to rank, if you want to know my ranking of which ones I'd want the most, I'd probably want the Dancer most. Just I like the idea of doing the costume like actual fabric, like the 3 3/4 inch version, is I think, a great idea and could be a really dynamic figure. And then maybe the Rancor Keeper, because obviously totally new character. And then I go with Luke and the Gomorian Guard, as they're ones that aren't super unique, but I would still personally like myself. So there you go, that's my thoughts on the possible unlocks for this Rancor, as well as an update on kind of my plans with the Rancor as I've bit the bullet and have backed the project. I recommend, as a backer myself, that you all do it as well so that we can all enjoy these unlockables together. But there you go, that's my thoughts on the new unlockables and the possible, the possibility of what they can be. Let me know what you guys think, and thanks so much for watching.